You know, in a world that is just buzzing with constant distractions, have you ever just wished for one single clear path to quiet your mind? Well, today, we're diving into an ancient dialogue that offers exactly that. We're going to explore this really profound piece of wisdom from the Shiv Puran that, believe it or not, directly addresses our very modern search for peace and clarity. So let's see how this ancient wisdom provides a path.
So, picture this. Our story begins in this really serene forest clearing. You've got a gathering of the great sages, right? The wisest thinkers of their time, all assembled. But this isn't just some casual get-together. Out of this group, a single urgent question comes up, and it's a question so fundamental that its answer would literally echo through the ages.
And the one who asks this question is the great sage Shaunaka. Now, his query, it's not just some philosophical puzzle. It's this deeply personal and totally universal plea. It's the kind of question we all ask ourselves when we feel lost or overwhelmed or just adrift. And here it is, the heart of the whole thing. Shaunak asks, how can we possibly cleanse our own minds? He talks about these worldly impurities, and wow, does that feel relevant today? I mean, sure, think of the classic vices, anger, greed, but also the modern ones. The anxiety from just constant information overload, the envy that's fueled by social media, all that mental clutter that clouds our judgment and just steals our peace. It's the timeless battle against our own inner chaos. Now, what's really fascinating here is the context for his question. Shaunak is looking around at the challenges of his time, an era known as the Kali Yuga, or the Age of Vice, where finding a righteous path is described as being incredibly difficult. So let's break down what he was seeing. He saw minds polluted with negativity. He saw vices like anger and greed becoming the default setting for people. He saw this widespread struggle to find any clear moral path forward, and just this collective feeling of the soul being, well, burdened by it all. I mean, that's a diagnosis from thousands of years ago that sounds like it could be describing our world right now. The stress, the burnout, that constant search for meaning in all the noise. So in response to this really profound crisis of the soul, another sage, Suchi, he steps forward. He totally gets the gravity of the problem, and he offers a solution that's described as singular, powerful, and, this is the most important part, accessible to everyone, especially in such a difficult age.
And the answer he gives? It's the Shiv Purana, one of the major sacred texts in Hinduism. But here's the thing. Suchi presents it as way more than just a book. He calls it the supreme scripture, the Shastra, and explains that it contains the absolute essence of all sacred principles, something conceived by Lord Shiva himself. And get this, for a really complicated age, he says it is the easiest and most direct path to find grace and purify your mind. So here's the key takeaway. Suchi's answer is absolutely definitive. He says that for cleaning up your mind in this challenging era, there is no tool more effective than the simple act of listening to the Shiv Purana. Not complicated rituals, not tough penance, just listening. And this brings us to the actual mechanism. I mean, how can just listening be so incredibly powerful? Well, the text makes a really crucial distinction, and it reveals that not all listening is created equal. See, it's not about passively having some sounds on in the background. The text emphasizes what's called shravan, which is a deep, devoted, and really focused kind of listening. You can almost think of it as a form of deep mindfulness. It's an active engagement with the words and their meaning, really allowing that wisdom to soak into your heart and your mind. And the results of this practice? They're said to be immediate and just profound. The mind gets cleansed of those very impurities Shaunak was so worried about. The text even claims that the heaviest burdens on your soul are washed away. The listener forges a real connection with the divine, and, quite simply, a troubled soul finds true peace.
And this is exactly why the Shiv Purana is presented as more than just some old scripture. It's a living vessel for purification. The act of engaging with it through this kind of devoted listening is the key that unlocks its transformative power. It's like a direct line to clarity and inner harmony. But hang on, the promise of this practice goes even further. It's not just about finding some inner peace in the moment. The text claims it's actually the foundation for achieving the 4 great aims of a totally fulfilling human life. And these are known as the 4-fold fruits of life. So first up, you've got Dharma, which is all about living a righteous, ethical life. Then comes Artha, which represents material prosperity and well-being. The third is Kama, the healthy fulfillment of your desires. And the final, ultimate goal? That's moksha, the complete liberation of the soul.
So the whole point is that this one single act, this devoted listening, is presented as the supreme dharma, the foundational good deed. The argument is that by focusing on this one practice, a person naturally paves the way to achieving all the other goals in life, from material success all the way to ultimate spiritual freedom. It's pretty amazing.
And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. This ancient wisdom suggests that the antidote to a world of overwhelming distraction isn't to add more complexity, but to cultivate a simple, powerful skill: listening. So in our own lives, which are filled with constant digital and social noise, what might we discover if we made space, not just for hearing, but for pure, devoted listening?